Welcome to the deep dive.
All right, let's dive in today, shall we? We're taking a look at self-worth and confidence.
Ooh, confidence.
You know that unshakable feeling when you just know your value?
Yeah.
You can walk into any room, take on anything.
Right.
Never worry about whether you belong or not.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're exploring today. And I have a feeling
No, I think so.
you might have some thoughts on this, especially the psychology of it all.
You're spot on. You know, this quote we're going to be looking at, it really does hit those core psychology concepts.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Lay it on me.
It reminds me of intrinsic motivation,
Oh, yeah?
that drive you have from within.
Not needing a reward?
Right, not from external things or validation.
Okay, let's get to the quote then.
Yeah.
It is, "A woman who knows what she brings to the table is not afraid to eat alone." Powerful, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even though it says woman, I think it applies to everyone.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not about gender.
No.
It's recognizing what you're worth.
Yeah.
And not always needing everyone else to agree.
It really speaks to self-efficacy.
Okay.
That belief in your own ability to handle whatever life throws your way.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Okay.
If you know you can do it and you're valuable,
Right.
why would you be scared to go at it alone sometimes? It's not about being a loner,
No.
but having that deep confidence in who you are and what you offer.
So it's like saying, I'm not here to please everyone or fit in.
Right.
I know what I bring to the table, and that's enough.
Exactly. You hit the nail on the head.
Okay.
That enoughness can be so empowering.
I can see that.
It frees you from that need for validation from others.
Yeah.
Because you have that validation internally.
Earn
You
it.
aren't dependent on others to tell you you're worthy.
It's interesting, though, because the world is constantly telling us
Oh, yeah.
that we need to be liked, we need to fit in, we have to achieve these things to be successful.
Achieve.
So how do we balance that with this inherent worth?
That's where self-awareness is so important.
Oh.
It's about understanding that those messages from the world,
Yeah.
they're just societal pressure.
Right.
They don't define you.
That makes sense.
It takes practice, though.
I bet.
It's like building a muscle. The more you think about your internal values and strengths,
Yeah.
those external messages have less power over you.
So we don't ignore them entirely,
Right?
but we choose which voices to listen to.
Exactly.
Prioritize our gut over all the noise.
You got it.
Okay.
It's about looking at things, questioning them,
Yeah.
and making a choice about what fits your own values.
This is really connecting back to the quote for me now.
Oh, how so?
If you always need that validation from outside sources,
Right?
you're going to feel insecure when you're alone,
That makes sense.
whether it's literally eating alone
Yeah.
or facing a decision by yourself.
Or even just being alone with your thoughts.
Yeah. But if that feeling comes from inside, you have the strength to deal with anything.
It's like having a strong foundation for a house. If you build your sense of self on what others think,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be shaky.
Yeah.
But if it's built on your values and what makes you you,
Yeah.
then it can handle anything.
It can withstand any storm.
That's a great analogy.
Thanks.
It really is like building a house on solid ground or sand.
Totally.
And when you have that foundation of self-worth,
Yeah.
you can make choices that are right for you.
Exactly.
You're not scared of what others think.
You're not driven by that fear of judgment.
Reminds me of another quote
Which one?
about well-behaved women rarely making history.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
You need to be self-assured to challenge things
Oh, absolutely.
and go against the grain.
You need that confidence to say, I know what I can do, and I'm not afraid to go for it.
Even if it means being different. And that's
Yes.
where the eating alone part comes in.
Right.
It's not about isolating yourself.
Right.
It's about being okay with stepping away from the crowd.
When you need to.
Yeah.
Sometimes the strongest thing you could do is stand alone. Wow. Trust your gut.
Mm-hmm.
Do what you know is right,
Even when it's hard.
even if it feels wrong to others.
That takes guts.
It does, but it's also so freeing
It really is.
to make choices because they feel right to you.
Not because you're scared of what people might think.
It is liberating.
And the more you do that,
Mm-hmm.
the stronger that self-efficacy becomes.
That's like a positive feedback loop.
This is so interesting.
It is, isn't it?
We've talked about self-efficacy, intrinsic motivation, building a strong foundation of self-worth, and having the courage to eat alone.
We have covered a lot.
Where do we even begin to build that unshakable confidence?
Well, there's no one answer that fits everyone, but I always tell people to start by paying attention to that self-talk.
You mean that voice in our heads?
Yeah, the one that can be so mean sometimes.
I know that voice.
We need to be aware of what we're telling ourselves.
Especially when we feel insecure.
Exactly. Those are the times it matters most.
Because we're usually much harder on ourselves than we would be on anyone else. It's true. We'd never talk to a friend that way.
So we need to notice those negative thought patterns.
Mm-hmm. When you catch yourself thinking, I can't do this, or I'm not good enough.
Right.
Stop and really think about that thought.
So put those thoughts on trial.
Yeah, like what's the evidence? Do they really hold up?
So then we ask ourselves,
Right, is this really true?
mm-hmm.
Is this thought helpful? Would I ever say this to someone I cared about?
And most of the time the answer is no.
Most of the time, yeah.
So when we realize those negative thoughts aren't helping us, what do we do then?
That's when the real work begins.
Yeah.
You have to actively reframe them into something better.
Something more positive.
Yes. So instead of saying, I'm not good enough, you can say, I'm learning and growing.
Or I'm strong enough to get through this.
Exactly.
Sounds like a lot of effort.
It is. It's like retraining your brain.
Wow.
But it's worth it, I promise.
How so?
The more you reframe those thoughts,
Yeah.
the stronger those neural pathways become.
The pathways for self-confidence.
For self-confidence and self-worth, exactly.
So we're building new habits.
Yes. You're replacing those old negative patterns
Right.
with ones that actually empower you.
And then eventually those good thoughts become automatic.
Your default setting, yeah. And that changes how you see yourself.
And how you interact with the world.
It can change your whole experience of life.
That's pretty powerful.
It really is.
But what about those times when we're in a situation that makes us feel insecure?
Like what?
Like walking into a room full of strangers or giving a presentation.
Right. Or maybe even just voicing an opinion that's different from everyone else's.
Yeah, those can be tough.
They can be really tough, especially if those feelings are already there.
So what can we do?
One thing that helps is visualization.
Okay, like picturing ourselves doing well.
Yes. Before that event, take a few minutes and imagine yourself walking into that room with your head held high,
Oh, I like that.
talking to people easily, or delivering that presentation with confidence.
So we're making a movie in our minds.
A mental movie where you're already that confident person.
Right.
And the more detail you can add, the better.
Because our brains don't always know the difference between real and imagined.
Exact.
So we're basically making ourselves believe it's already happened.
You're tricking your mind into confidence.
And that can help us in the actual situation.
It can reduce anxiety and build confidence.
I love that. It's like a dress rehearsal.
Yeah. So when it's time for the real thing,
You're ready.
you're ready to shine.
Okay, we've got self-talk and visualization.
What else?
Are there any other tools we can add to our confidence toolkit?
There are, but I think the next one is focusing on your strengths.
Okay, so not dwelling on the things we're not good at.
Yeah, shift that focus to what you enjoy and what you're good at.
The things that make you feel capable.
Right. Take some time to really think about your strengths.
What comes naturally.
Exactly. What do people always say you're good at? What makes you feel energized?
Like making a list of all the great things we have to offer.
Yes, a mental inventory.
And then make a point of doing those things. Things we're good at.
Right.
Because when we do things we enjoy, we feel more confident.
It's like feeding your soul.
I like that.
And that feeling spills over into everything else.
Their self-worth, our well-being.
It all gets a boost.
It's funny how society tells us to fix our weaknesses.
Instead of celebrating our strengths.
Yeah, we focus on what we lack.
Instead of appreciating what we already have.
What if we flip that?
What do you mean?
What if we focus on our strengths? Let them guide our choices.
Oh, wow. Think about it.
People would be so much happier.
More engaged, more fulfilled, more confident.
I want to live in that world.
Me too.
Okay, so we've got reframing our self-talk, visualization, and focusing on strengths.
It's quite a list.
Any other strategies for building that confidence?
There is one more, and it's all about setting boundaries.
Oh, boundaries. That's a good one. I think a lot of people struggle with that.
I think so too.
Me included. How does that connect to knowing our worth?
Well, when you really know what you're worth, you realize that your time and energy are valuable.
Right.
And you're more likely to want to protect them by
Right.
setting boundaries with people or situations that aren't good for you.
So it's like saying no to things that don't serve us, even if it means letting someone down or going against what's expected.
It's not about being selfish.
Okay.
It's about putting your needs first.
Yeah.
It's definitely a skill.
It takes practice,
It does. It can be really uncomfortable at first.
especially if you're used to putting everyone else first.
Yeah, always trying to please people.
I can relate to that for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I used to feel so guilty saying no, even when I knew I was doing too much.
Yeah, spreading yourself too thin.
But that's where self-worth is so important.
It is.
Because when you truly believe in yourself,
Yeah.
you don't feel as bad about saying no.
You deserve to protect your time and energy.
It's like giving ourselves permission to prioritize our well-being.
It is. And when you set those boundaries, you're basically saying to yourself and to others that you respect yourself and that you expect them to respect you too.
That's a good point.
It can be really empowering.
Like taking back control of your life.
Exactly. And the more you do it,
The easier it gets.
the more confident you become in protecting yourself and creating a life you love.
This has been such a great conversation.
It has.
We've talked about self-efficacy, visualization, focusing on our strengths,
Yeah.
setting boundaries,
All connected to this idea of knowing our worth.
and being comfortable eating alone.
Exactly.
I feel like I've learned so much. Is there anything else you want to leave our listeners with?
Yeah, just remember that this whole journey of knowing your worth is a process.
Right. It's not like you wake up one day and just have it.
It's not a destination.
Oh,
It's something
exactly.
you work on. It's growth and evolution.
There are going to be ups and downs.
Definitely moments of doubt and challenges.
But it's about how we handle those moments.
Exactly.
And come back to that feeling of self-assurance.
It's about accepting yourself for who you are,
Right.
embracing everything, even your imperfections.
And knowing that we're all worthy just as we are.
Exactly, no matter what we achieve or what others think.
It's a beautiful journey.
It is a journey of self-love and self-discovery.
And we're not alone in it.
No, we all have those moments of self-doubt.
It's normal.
It is. Just be kind to yourself. Practice those tools we talked about.
Yeah.
And celebrate every step you take towards being your true self.
Those are such wise words. Thank you so much for sharing with us.
It's been my pleasure.
I'm feeling inspired, and I know our listeners are too.
I hope so. Remember, you are worthy, you are capable, and you have everything you need within you.
To create a life you love.
Exactly.
And on that note, we're wrapping up this deep dive.
To everyone listening, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep shining bright.
We rise from the shadows and dance in the light, unlocking our power, igniting the night. In this deep dive we find strength in our voice, every woman a leader with dreams and a choice. Stand tall and proud, we're breaking the mold with hearts full of fire. Our stories get told. Together we soar on wings wide and free. The deep dive calls to you. Come join and you'll see. With passion we conquer each mountain we climb, an unstoppable force in rhythm and rhyme. In this podcast we shine like stars on the rise, uniting our spirits, breaking the ties. Stand tall and proud, we're breaking the mold with hearts full of fire. Our stories get told. Together we soar on wings wide and free. The deep dive calls to you. Come join and we'll see. Come join and see. With passion we conquer each mountain we climb, an unstoppable force in rhythm and rhyme. In this podcast we shine like stars on the rise, uniting our spirits, breaking the ties. Stand tall and proud, we're breaking the mold with hearts full of fire. Our stories get told.